Hey people, welcome back for Godsfall Season 3. We've got a lot in store for you as the party remains separated into 3 groups and scattered across the 5 kingdoms. This year we spent some extra time editing episodes in advance so we can stick to a release schedule and put out early previews for our loyal Patreon supporters. We've got new t-shirts up as well featuring all of the main cast, including Oinkers, drawn by artist Ben Sagas. Each shirt puts $4 into the podcast and is a great way to support the show. As we look to expand the Godsfall world and add even more bonus episodes, we could use a signal boost to get us out in front of a wider audience. We would be honored if you would share episodes on your social media pages and truly thankful if you would write us an iTunes review. Your support helps us make sure we can keep telling stories for years to come. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the show. My name is Aram. Welcome back to Godsfall. Godsfall is a custom Dungeons & Dragons game that is played and recorded in Washington, D.C. and written and produced in Chicago.
Hi, my name is Steven. I'm playing the 5th level Dwarf Paladin, Torrvic Wildtongue.
My name is Doug, and I'm playing Dorro Knott, 5th level Halfling Rogue.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm playing Xion Praeten, the 5th level Human Sorcerer.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm playing Rina and Falaval, a 5th level Wild Elf Ranger.
Previously on Godsfall.
Oinkers, having taken the form of a peregrine and covering the distance between the 2 parties in less than half a day, returned to Torrvic and brought word of the fate that had befallen his friends.
You look up and there is a little pink bird that comes swooping down, lands there. You immediately know it's Oinkers. You can just tell it's Oinkers. And chirp, 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 and nuzzles up against you and into your beard.
Where the fuck have you been?
Poof, giant pig. It's like, oh,
Holy shit, you've grown. Why don't we get to have fun? We're fighting fires and orcs and shit, and they're probably drinking at the...
Well, this is good news, Torvik. At least
They
we know they're
are drinking it in right now.
At least we know they're alive. But it means that the teleport went disastrously wrong. If we find these Seeker Stones, I can fashion new batteries, and we can use that with the Eye of Saw to be able to communicate with them, who knows what.
While man and beast reunited, Para awoke from his exhaustion at absorbing and transforming the massive forest fire that had threatened the Flat Rock Orcs.
Are you okay?
Who are you?
Yes.
What's my name? What's my name?
Oh, shit. Who are these small creatures?
Allowing the god of sun to eat and rest one more day before setting out, Xion, Para, Oinkers, and Torrvic were joined by the new god of peace, an orc named Uragon. The next morning, they set out with 4 Flat Rock orc rangers accompanying them, scouting ahead and behind as they vanished among the sandy hills. 3 hours into their journey north, they came across a small border town with a few dozen Wesselian soldiers occupying the town square.
Several dozen heavily armored men and women performing a rather rough house-by-house search, emptying each household as they go and herding the locals into the town square. One by one, they are forced to remove their shoes. There's a couple of them that have red-stained feet and calves, and those people are pulled out of line. They are escaped slaves. They will not escape again. And one of the soldiers is sharpening a rather large axe.
As Torrvic took to the skies as an eagle, Xion reached out to Para to form a bridge with his divinity and a show of force he hoped would awe the soldiers into compliance.
All right, good. So you reach out to him and you start to form that bridge between you two. The energy of your force begins to form that connection between you and Para, and he reaches out to you, and then his eyes go wide in panic and nothing happens. I can't. And you push a little harder, like you try and form that connection, and there is nothing there. It's like he's not a god at all.
Queen Cyrena, Dorro, and Rina were teleported to Port Bliss, over 1,000 miles from the others, while teaching Caitlin how to form a bridge between their divinities. They gathered in an inn whose keeper is a close friend of the crown, and formed a plan to recover one of Jacob Cladivo's royal artifacts, the Ring of the Old World.
No, yeah, there and back. Why make it anything more complicated than that? We're going to go to the Palewood Forest to the southwest. We'll camp outside the forest, and then in the morning, we'll go inside and look for the ring.
Then Joshua goes back out to bring the horses around front. You guys finish up your breakfast, and you start out on the road.
After breakfast, along with Caitlin and loyal bodyguard Joshua Omar, they set out with fresh horses and supplies. They took the well-traveled road heading southwest toward the Sapphire Bay as it curled around the Palewood Forest. In the center of that dark, tangled glen of overgrown elms is where they would find the next piece of Queen Cyrena's royal power. After a tense encounter with some Bernean soldiers and a quick nighttime scouting of the woods by Rina, Dorro suggested that perhaps the elven goddess of luck could aid the queen in pinpointing where her ring could be found.
So you reach out to form the bridge with Cyrena, like you've been shown by Xion, and I think you also did it with Dorro, and it's not quite the same. Instead of forming a bridge, you feel like you've manipulated a field around the queen. There's an energy around everything, every person, every item, every decision that suddenly flares into view for you for just a second. And in that second, you're able to touch it and alter its course. As the queen reaches out a hand towards the forest, a wind stirs up from out of nowhere. A wind that seems to curl and wind and twist among the trees until a dozen, 18, 20, perhaps even more trees bend left and right, just out of the way, just swaying slightly along a straight path 500 feet directly into the forest. And at the end of that tunnel of greenery that has shifted out of your way is a ring sitting on a branch in a single narrow shaft of daylight. And then in the next second, the wind stops and all the trees whoosh, sway back together, closing off the path. But yeah, you literally saw it with your own eyes right there. Jigs wants some attention.
What a cool cinematic shot that would be.
Yeah,
everything just kind of.
I think of Narnia when the trees were moving.
See
I just
the
like,
ring, and of course they visually like make it brighter.
Sure,
and
bright
stuff,
and
so
shine
it's
with
obvious,
the light on
but
it,
it's still kind of way back there, so you have to look
but
for it.
there's only
You're like,
one shaft of light that touches it, and then all of a sudden, boom! It just all closes back in. Exactly.
that way. Just like I point, and then the way that it just
and
went.
she like her eyes pop open as soon as you do it, and she kind of flicks around, and she just turns as everything closes. But she's like, I felt it too.
Did you see it?
No,
I saw it.
I felt it. We should go.
We
And she's
both
ready.
jump
It's like,
up.
shing! Like she's like all of a sudden both of them are up on their feet and ready to go.
well, yeah, I would have. If everyone jumped out and pulled out their weapon, I would have done it too. And been like,
Shing, 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 I guess, Jocelyn comes running around because she took a bathroom break, and she hears 5 swords drawn, so she comes sprinting around, pulling up her armor, pulling out a sword.
And poor
What?
And poor Caitlin's just sitting there.
Caitlin's got a little dagger. She got a little dagger, and she got both hands around it, and she's looking around.
oh, I instinctively am staying generally close enough to Caitlin at
You guys are back to
mostly
back.
all times.
Caitlin goes
Yeah,
back to back
exactly.
with you right away.
Yeah, she's my little sidekick.
You've been training her, and one of the first things you taught her, one of the very first things was, as soon as there's danger, run to me and go back to back. It's the first thing you taught her, so that's what she does.
Yep.
No?
I turn to everyone else and I say, I know exactly where the ring is. Points forward.
Go there.
So I'm gonna be careful about it though. So it's morning now, I assume, and we're okay. So we pack everything up that we need to pack up.
Excellent.
And then I'm gonna lead us exactly to the ring, but also looking out for owl bears.
Oh yeah,
Bearsies.
Oh yeah.
Bearsies.
All right. So you lead them straight into the woods, and she is just, I mean, every single decision she makes is correct. She ducks under a branch, it opens up into a wider path. She steps around what looks like an obvious place to walk, and then very, very clearly you would see where it would have fallen off. I mean, she just, without even hesitation, it's like she's lived in these woods her entire life, even though she's never been in here. And you guys make very quick progress to a small clearing, about 600 feet into the woods. There's a ray of light that just breaks through the canopy, and directly in the center of it, hung on a tree, on a little like, nub of a broken branch, is a ring. Glowing.
So I stop us all, and I turn to Dorro. You should probably just teleport there, teleport back like we did the other one.
Okay.
I teleport on top of Josra Omar's head, Jazz Omelet's head.
Okay.
And then teleport from her head to the branch.
All right. She's annoyed, but she doesn't like you.
I know, but
So
that's why I
yeah,
did
right.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even need the height to
Right.
do that.
Right.
I just
Fair
did
enough.
it on purpose.
Fair enough. All right. So you teleport over to the tree. You're in the tree now.
And I pull out my bow and I'm aiming at the tree.
Right.
Just, you know.
I would like
Kevin's got a little dagger out.
just for cinematic event. Could I have possibly been just I have to reach
Yeah.
for it.
Sure. You just have to reach. And
bing!
okay.
I got it!
And Dorro vanishes.
Shit.
Vanishes.
Yep.
Again?
Yep.
Do I see a giant flaming eyeball?
No, you
Okay,
are.
because I take that shit
No,
off.
you have that. Yeah. You are just holding the ring in your hand, and you are suddenly. You're still where you are, but it's all the purple and pink swirling mass of the astral realm all around you. So the trees are there, and the sky is there, and the grass is there, but it's all been replaced now with the. And you've been in the astral realm enough
Look at me
times
to
to
see
know.
what I look like.
Much I know, right?
Yeah, you know where you are. Yeah, you should.
I just look over where they are.
Yeah, okay,
Go ahead.
fair enough. Fair enough. So you look up and you see, let's say Rina, because she's the one on the edge, right? She's two people at the same time. Every single time she
Like when the
moves,
Flash does that Speed Force thing.
there's always like a red and a blue version of her. There's always every single time she moves
the guy's
to take
picture?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy's
seen the
picture,
picture.
yeah.
Every single time she takes she takes any action, whether she lowers her bow, whether she there's always something bad happens, something good happens, and you're seeing both things happen. You're seeing both possibilities branching out from her at all times. To her left is a tiny girl, and she's just standing there. Her eyes are hollow. Her mouth is open, and there's just inky blackness that seems to curl out from her head and out from her skin and her pores as these tendrils of night that eke out all around her.
I know, right?
Does Cyrena do? Well, just right now. Like, I didn't
Cyrena
I
does
didn't-
okay.
Called?
Yeah.
What was that called?
Cyrena,
Intenebration. That's it. Yeah.
Cyrena and Josra show nothing.
Okay.
Well, her shield and
know, that's
her
her shield.
thing would have
Her
glowed.
stuff,
Tattered
has.
and glowed.
Oh, here's actually
they
that'll answer one of my
glow, but they
questions.
don't
yeah.
like show another vision.
Right,
You know what I mean?
but I'm
Yeah.
saying, I think we've established in the
Yeah.
astral plane that
We do.
magical items glow.
Certainly, yeah. So
But you
for
don't see,
magical-
a thing
But
or
it's
something?
it's not
Oh,
like
okay.
right. They're glowing, but you're not getting a visual effect off them.
Okay.
Exactly.
It'll startle me.
Yeah.
So I'll probably drop the ring.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. So
Ah!
so you drop the ring. Dorro appears again, and the ring, tink tink, just falls to the ground. Actually, just rustle because it'd be leaves. So it falls to the ground and is in a pile of leaves now.
I have a new coat now, right? Don't I?
Sure.
I had a new
yes.
coat made. or
Yes. You had a
something?
new coat made.
So
Yes.
I take my coat to pick up the ring.
Sure.
Basically.
Basically, use the edge of your coat. Yeah.
And walk over.
Just
to
like you would
everybody else.
with the eye of Saw. Perfect. You walk it right over to her. As you're walking it over to her, so you have it kind of cupped in your coat, and you're very carefully going back over to the queen. And when you get about 10 feet from her, the ring begins to glow and just floats up and out of your coat and out of your hands and just levitates towards her, and she just places a hand out and just flips and rolls over and just glides gently over her hand, and you can see it shrink slightly as it rolls over her center right finger. And she vanishes for a second, but it's not the same way. It's like it rolls up her arm, and you can see her whole arm turning purple and pink, as if she's in the astral realm, yet still fully in this reality. And so all of her is this purple and pink. And then from the center, there's like a golden light that flares out, and it's just her again. And she just stands, takes a breath, and she thanks you.
Much as that should have been mine.
I mean, you can always touch it.
Actually, like, all right, but it really should have been and you put your foot down, and your foot presses down into something warm and soft, and you hear a guttural roar from underneath you.
Do I get evasion?
You get to have a full round to act because you rolled so well.
I wonder if they fly. You're an owl. Good luck! For science.
For
science! That's his new battle cry. No. I put both my hands on the bottom of it and concentrate on trying to move us as high up into the sky as possible.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I would like you...
I've played the up and down game. I can survive this.
I would like you to roll wisdom.
Which is nothing. Yes. 10.
10, okay. So, there's, you see Dorro, everyone is with him. Take a step, you all hear the growl of an owlbear within feet of you. Everyone, panic moves, and then Dorro just drops to his feet, grabs a big handful of something, and he's gone. And also, there's now a depression where he was, and the ground kind of caves in a bit. And 1,000 feet above you, you guys see a little flare of light. Yeah. You and an owlbear, a very panicked owlbear, are now. You're falling, the owlbear's falling, and the owlbear is flailing all around.
We fall,
and
I'm gonna try and push off of it so then I can teleport like 10, 15, 20,
you don't need
30
the motion. You can just be, you can be falling and teleport here and still be falling. So
if I had to create momentum.
You don't need to create momentum. You're going to bleed off momentum.
There's plenty of momentum, right?
Yeah.
Well, then I just create distance between us.
So, and now you're about, let's say, 50 feet apart, still falling.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I would like to teleport into the canopy of a tree.
Okay. All right. So you guys see a couple flashes. Just roll me a dexterity check just to make sure you don't fuck this up.
12.
Okay, so here's another teleport. Dorro teleports into a tree, crashes down through it, flips through a couple of branches, and then splat like on his face, and then gets up. Ta-da!
Yeah,
and then,
totally.
Like a second later, you're and there's a smashing of an owlbear as it crashes through trees, like maybe 100 feet this way. There's some branches snapping and some screeching and a thud, and then silence. And everyone just kind of looks at you like, what the fuck?
And I say, don't worry, I protected everyone.
I swear by all the gods, I thought owlbears could fly.
Rina starts looking around to see if there are other things on the ground.
Yeah. No, nothing else. However, there is, like, you can hear some, like...
Some plaintive wails.
Yeah, well, there's...
A baby owlbear comes out of the cave.
Two little... Actually, you know what?
Why do you open your mouth all the time? All the time with the opening of the mouth.
For guilty.
That's a 20. So, as you are standing there, and as you are just like, I protected us all. And as you do that, there's a tiny little cry. And two little baby owlbears poke their little heads up. And there's like still a little blind, really kind of like, squinting against the light.
Yeah.
Out from the depression.
Don't touch them. But you know that.
Yeah. No.
Don't touch them. Why don't touch them?
Are you out of your mind? That would kill them faster.
Well,
At least if we don't do anything, another one may come and take them.
roll nature.
You know, I could raise one. Give it a good school. 17.
Yeah, with that, they're dead. Owlbears, they don't both stay. The mom stays, and that's it. So without the mom, they're dead.
Way to go, Dorro.
So what do you want to do?
Not care.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because okay, so let the owlbear kill all of us so it can raise its cubs.
No.
What?
No.
Wrong time?
No
Yeah,
one-
what do you want? It's a wild animal.
No one is suggesting that. I'm just asking what you want to do now.
Not touch them.
Okay.
This is a very interesting situation for her.
They're they're starting to cry for food. They're doing that little kind of bird thing. I'm like,
Eat your dead mother.
we're so incredibly hungry.
I rolled a corpse onto him. Don't do that.
Wow.
You teleport those two in 1,000 feet in the sky.
Maybe you can fly. You're lighter.
Do I know if there are pet shops in Brennus that would sell meat creatures?
I mean,
Or Port Bliss, sorry, Port Bliss.
Probably in Port Bliss, yes. Certainly in River Run. It's known for exotic animals. It's one of the things that are traded there. But yeah, in Port Bliss, you can buy and sell a lot of stuff. So there's a good chance you'd be able to find a place to dump off a pair of. In fact, you'd probably get a good coin. You could probably get a lot of money for a pair of baby owl bears.
Yeah, you can raise that shit, and they can become like like animal fights, and stuff in the pits. That's what happens. I mean, they're not raising them to be,
Or exotic pets.
Lap owl.
Who would
bears.
have an owl bear as an exotic pet?
And idiots. And there's people who have panthers and stupid shit for pets. You know what I mean?
A drug dealer or something.
A rich idiot. That's who.
Or you can give them to me, and then I have two more NPC animals to.
That's true. That's
Lead
true.
them-
You
lead
could
them-
totally
lead
raise two
around.
owlbears.
And 2 human children.
Yeah.
Or dwarf children.
You could raise your owlbears with your dwarf children. You raise-
It's like
They'll
Game
each
of
get one.
Thrones.
yeah,
They'll each
they
get
could all have
one, yeah.
owlbears. That'd be fucking awesome.
My pregnant.
Actually,
yeah.
My thing.
Yeah. That'd be
Actually, that's a great idea.
'Cause it's twins.
I take my coat off because I feel guilty.
Sure.
And I
now, because I feel guilty because it's convenient for the plot.
Yeah.
No,
well,
you don't
because-
feel guilty.
No, it makes sense and
Yes.
You say aloud, I feel guilty.
At
but
the end of the day, I'm chaotic good.
Sure.
Okay, so
fine.
I scoop up these things.
Right.
And you're like, no, don't worry. I'll give them to Torrvic as a I'm sorry that I couldn't bring you back to your wife. It's perfect, trust me.
I'm sorry I couldn't bring you to your wife, to your pregnant
Here's
wife.
some owlbears.
Here's some owlbears.
Yes.
And as he starts to tying up, they have to breathe. They have to breathe.
Right,
and she
yeah,
starts going,
right.
oh.
Three holes, they're probably really hungry.
They're hungry. I can get food for
She starts
them.
regurgitating.
Oh, well, here you go. You can take care of them.
Oh, she's just like, squirrel. Here.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like gremlins just rip
All
the
right.
squirrel to
No.
shreds.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, they're loud initially,
Yeah.
and you're like, shh. So you give them 2 squirrels, each, one each,
Yeah, I
and they
peel,
quiet down. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
then you don't even need to.
Yeah.
You put them in their hole, and they're just like snap, and they just tear them up. So they're happy.
And so
Yeah.
she, baby.
Like a baby
She
Bjorn
baby
with
ties.
owlbears?
Yeah, she baby ties these owlbears.
Excellent.
So that they'll be close
All right.
and can feel her heartbeat.
The whole time, the Queen and Josser are just looking at the two of you. And they just shake their heads and like, fine,
I stare at
whatever.
Serena and I go, I got you your ring.
She
I know,
shrugs.
right?
She shrugs and she's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, the ring is gone.
Whoosh. Yep,
Like,
see?
like
Told
it
you.
is.
That's why she never saw
She
it.
said she's still wearing it, but it's.
Can you see it?
Yes, she can see it clear as day.
Only carrying
Where
for
are you
these things
heading?
for so long.
Well, that's it. We just gotta find Torrvic again.
So, speaking of
happened a
which,
year
where are you going now?
Oh, we gotta go back to Port
Port
Bliss
Bliss.
now.
Okay, so you're gonna head back to Port Bliss.
Yeah.
It's about a day's journey from where you are now.
Yeah, and it's
Okay, so it'll be
it's
dark
like
by the
noon.
time you get
Yeah,
home.
yeah. Well, we're gonna camp probably pretty close to the same place we camped before.
Last night,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
With 2 screaming owlbear babies.
Camp? How are we doing watch?
Look at Jocelyn. I say, you want a combo again?
Done. All right, yeah. Josh is basically like, I'm doing watch regardless. Whoever else wants to do watch is fine. I don't trust any of you idiots, and I will always be doing watch. Shouldn't say that out loud, but in so many words.
I mean, I'm gonna have to care for babies tonight, so.
That's true, and you
I'm
do.
gonna be on baby watch.
And your hunting's great.
Yeah.
So you're able
I
to
can
hunt
get
more
double
squirrels.
the food
Yeah.
in a forest.
Well, good because you need double the food because they are very hungry. So, twin baby owlbears.
Do I know what sex they are?
Yes.
Roll nature.
Do I roll nature to see if
So you know, Oinkers is a girl.
I know Anchor's a girl.
Okay.
Yep.
17.
Roll check genitalia.
All right. Yes, you do. And let's just say, okay, the first one is a boy, and the second one is a girl. It's a boy and a girl.
And
Boy
when
and
they,
girl.
when they
owlbear.
unite, they can turn into things.
No, they're not. No, they have no
They're the
powers.
Wonder Twin
No,
owlbears.
No, they're
Yay!
just owlbears.
Flying Wonder Twin owlbears. We'll teach them eventually.
No, they can't fly.
I'll catch you.
Dorro is just dropping owlbears. They can't fly, Dorro. They can't fly. And you have two owlbear pups that it was protected. I guess they're called pups. What would they call them? Owlbear cubs? Yeah, owlbear cubs.
Hatchling?
It's
An
I
owlet.
hope
They're
it's
not
an owlet.
Pokemon.
I really hope it's an owlet.
I want to be
Baby
Pokemon.
owls are called.
Owlmon.
Oh my God, they're called owlets.
Oh, in my face.
A cublet.
In my face.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I like cublet.
So it's a cublet.
Monster.
I like that. I
Right.
like. I like
Good job on
cublet.
wilderness lore. Impressive.
All right.
Hey, it's true. I can't.
Take a bonus.
Imagine that. The elf knew what the owl was called.
That's funny. All right, so it's two cublets.
I babied them to me.
Right, exactly.
They're baby tied.
They're being. It's still like a substantial thing. So we're talking a creature.
One's on each shoulder. You know, they like lay on the shoulder.
Sure, but it's like trying to walk with two 20-pound sacks of potatoes. Like, it's not easy. In fact, I'd like a constitution roll from you.
Jesus. Okay.
Constitution?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess
Yeah.
stamina.
Yeah, it's hard.
Is it a saving throw or just a straight Constitution roll?
Just give me a saving throw. Yeah.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, and you're tired, and this is a little bit extra work than you had.
Taking it back to the forest days.
Caitlin is enjoying these creatures quite a lot. They're basically the size of her, and she is kind of like, she was a little shy at first, but she got around you, and you've kept them relatively. In fact, roll me animal handling as well to see how calm you've managed to keep these creatures.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. 22.
All right,
But it was a nat 20, so.
Oh, yeah. You, bing, bing, and you quilled a couple, whatever. Yeah,
Minor
squirrels.
birds.
Yeah, exactly.
Quail or
and
something,
fed
maybe.
them, and they are well fed and asleep.
I'm
They're
a
just
great
kinda
mother.
curled up and.
Before we left the forest, I could probably make something.
What you've done is you've made two slings.
Yeah.
So they're kind of wrapped to you and kind of curled up next to you. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Your back is not going to be happy about this, but you've done it so far. And you guys are heading back towards Port Bliss. As you approach Port Bliss, you can see that there are lines outside of all the gates. You're approaching the west gate, but there are you can also see the lines coming out of the south gate. They're probably 20, 30 wagons and then just random people deep, but 20 or 30 groups deep. The main gates are shut, and they've opened the smaller gates and are simply letting in people one group at a time. There are soldiers on the wall and down at the gates that are clearly checking paperwork.
When we left, was it the main gate open?
Yes, everything was open when you left.
Okay.
You guys kind of stop before you get too close and kind of like a little powwow. What do we do?
Have I ever been in Port Bliss when it's been locked down like this before?
Yes, you have. And the reason why they would lock it down like this, either there could be an emergency, but
more than likely,
there's very, very expensive cargo traveling through the area. They will lock down the city if something very valuable.
They never do
is
this when they're
moving
like
through it.
looking for someone.
Yeah, if there was
So it
like
could be one of those
probably
two
tell
things.
by like the mood of the guards and the people moving around what it was.
that would be fair. Well, you know, roll me gather information.
Perception.
Yeah.
Perception.
Wait, is there a
9?
There's no gather info anymore, is there?
Oh
God damn
no.
You've got perception. You've got
Okay.
insight.
Right.
You've got
Roll me.
insight would be more.
Investigation.
Insight's
Yeah.
more when you like.
Investigation.
Insight's when you're gauging what
Yeah.
someone's. You know.
Dorro, roll me an investigation.
13.
Okay, that's enough. So you, Dorro kind of jets away for a second. You see him dashing in and about, like from a distance. Dorro will like stand up on top of a box and you see his little arms gesturing back and forth, and some people shaking their heads or some people talking back, and then he runs all the way back. He's like, all right. You have figured out that apparently there is an incredibly valuable treasure, some sort of artifact that is making its way from Port Bliss to Ani on the Queen's orders.
Queen Phryne's orders.
Correct.
Yes. How do people react?
Befuddled.
My beloved wife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Queen Cyrene is still a bit stung about the whole emotional manipulation thing and making her
Well, I would
fall
think
in
she would
love.
also be quite stung about like being usurped.
Honestly, yeah, but less so.
Okay.
Less
She really
so.
wasn't
Really
about
into
the
it,
throne.
Yeah.
She
I
was
mean,
just
you know,
kinda-
it was her responsibility, and
Yeah.
she took it on.
She
Fine.
probably believed that she would never have to do it because her
Right.
grandfather
Yeah.
was immortal.
He outlived a lot of people,
Right.
her
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
everyone
Her
else,
parents,
and yeah, so.
I remember when you were talking about way, way, way long ago when we first met her that she was more of like a warrior and stuff and less of a like.
Does she take being the queen seriously? Yes. Does she want to go and make sure her city is okay? Is she on board for getting all of her equipment and then basically saying, get the fuck off the throne? Yeah, but she's more pissed about personally being manipulated and controlled like that, as anyone I think would be.
Yes.
That was
Unless they like the boot. I mean, there are some people.
but I mean, even with that, there's an implied, wink and a nod permission, right? I mean, she was really made to believe that she was in love with her. And then manipulated beyond that. It was all really kind of awful when you really think about it. What she did to her was terrible. And I don't think Kay sees it as awful, which is interesting.
No.
Right. Well, I mean, I like that. I think that's great.
I know.
It makes a great villain.
Makes a great
it's
villain.
so
I know.
believable.
Because villains don't think, ha ha ha, I'm evil.
Well, no, they don't.
Some
They
do.
don't. Well, I don't because that's
I'm sure.
That's kind of why. That's kind of
Dick
why.
Cheney, when he shoots somebody in the face, it's like, better apologize.
Wasted a bullet on your face. What the hell?
When this was happening,
One of the reasons why I was so happy to drop Haldir next to her is to drop basically a cartoon villain directly next to her. I like that idea. I like that Haldir just revels in being evil and doesn't give a fuck. Or at least, I mean, I don't think Haldir goes, yes, that's what the good guys do. They beat innocents. You know what I mean? He's not thinking it. I don't think he
he's a
doesn't
sadist,
think
and he
in
knows
good and evil. He doesn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
He's amoral.
Yes, exactly. So the way that you are situated now, you're kind of on a hill looking over Port Bliss because it's a low-lying city. Dorro, with your spyglass, you could teleport everyone directly into it if you wanted to, and just bypass security altogether.
We know that Phryane has what did you say? An expensive treasure is coming through Port Bliss to Ani?
Yeah,
On order of the Queen.
On order of the Queen.
We want
some expensive artifact.
Oh, so this is just brainstorming,
Yeah.
so jump in at any time. We want to go to the
Ironwood, because we need to go.
My
I need
objective
to
is
check it.
my objective is to reconnect with your wild elves.
Yeah.
We already did our treasure hunt stuff, and also we're missing 2 other ones way further south.
Yeah.
If we try to cut down south through the continent
Now it's gonna.
we won't have enough time to get either you to your elves or us to Hog's Feet.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know about the Hog's Feet thing yet.
Right.
Speaking of which, it would take a day to get from the woods to Port Bliss. So you launched the Peregrine from the woods. You launched peregrine oinkers
Yeah.
from the woods. How long did we say it was going to take to get peregrine oinkers from there to your group?
A day.
1 day.
It was
Okay.
a couple hours.
So as you're, let's say about the same time. That'll make it easier.
Oinkers is right now meeting up with us.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Perfect.
Current timeline.
And stays with us for a whole day.
Right.
We haven't ordered Oinkers to come back. or
Right.
anything
So
yet.
good. That's what I want to make sure I didn't have to worry
Oinkers in
about.
any form is
Oinkers
not
can't-
coming to
yeah,
them
can't come
at
in
least
right
for
now.
2 days.
Good. So they're not going to get any response. Okay, good.
Yeah. Based on how I know Port Bliss's ports work,
Correct.
if a ship is leaving from Port Bliss to Ani,
Yes.
will a ship going from Port Bliss to the Bluffs cross paths with that ship or not get near it? Or is it not even in the same end of the ports?
You would.
or-
I mean, the ships that leave for the docks the ships that leave for the bluffs, leave for the eastern side, are more situated towards those docks, and the ships that are leaving towards the western side are situated towards those docks.
'cause
It's
it's like
easier. Now, when
like
they
a
come
sea,
in, they sometimes cross, but when they leave, they're leaving out towards their own. So yeah, you would go to the eastern edge, and those other ships should be towards the western edge.
Problem is we can't go. Well, Rita would be saying this, I guess. We
Okay.
can't go through the gate because we have the queen with us.
We don't need to go through the gate. I can get us in the city. That's not the problem. I just want to make sure that no one thinks that we're trying to steal this obvious bait.
So why don't we just sidestep it entirely?
I think the ship going to the Bluffs leaves in that direction over there as I point clear over into the eastern direction. And I'm pretty sure any ships that leave for Ani come from there. So I turn back to everyone and say, why don't we try and be quiet this time? How does that sound?
This is strange.
For
Are you all
once.
right?
You're looking down and you're kind of scanning the roofs, and there's guards on the wall, and there's guards on some of the more important buildings. There's also a couple extra people out, like on some of the richer buildings. And you also notice that on the building that Cyril and all of them were working out of, where Grabby
the
Hands,
chimney I went down.
Yeah.
and stuff?
I went
and the
down.
chimney.
right?
She went down.
There are people on that rooftop.
Right, because they were looking for us, but
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Well, they're still there, or at
Is it-
least there are guards
Would
posted
he
there.
know?
I
Would
was
he know
gonna
that
go
it's like
over there.
similar people, like the same guards?
Yeah, because they're not the guards. They're not dressed in the uniform, so they're clearly private guards. They're just dressed in leathers with swords and torches.
All right,
You know. So you see, yeah. So there are a couple people on rooftops, but there's many rooftops that are barren. Also, it's dusk heading towards night, so popping onto a rooftop would be a hell of a lot easier.
I teleport us rooftop to rooftop using empty roofs to stay away from guarded ones. and
You can
stuff people want.
you can teleport directly onto a rooftop right next to the docks where you want to
yeah.
be. You can go one rooftop.
Is there good cover?
We should probably
Yeah.
do it
From
we should
there?
probably do
Okay.
it. Okay, all right. So
Yeah, because there's so many varying roofs around the docks, and there's so much noise and activity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
then that.
Do we want
To be clear, he is not trying to teleport right next to Baron LaFleur's house.
No.
No.
I can just teleport right on
No,
top.
no,
No,
no.
Do we wanna-
those
Also, I
that
should
warehouse
say, I
is
don't wanna
back.
go back there.
Watch out for the wily DM.
Yeah.
That
I don't
warehouse
wanna
is
go back
actually
there.
back and to the south anyway, so they'd be far
Do
away.
we want to teleport to a roof that's like sort of kind of out of the way, and then one of us goes and checks out the port to see that they're not like checking out other ports for the trap? Like, you know, what if they're like thinking we're gonna come in some other way?
No, because the bait for the trap is to find out what's going on with this treasure, and as long as we remove ourselves from that equation, they should have no reason to be going and checking other ships because they're not even going for this treasure. How would you steal it if you're going a different direction?
I'm just saying that, like, you know, they wouldn't. They just in case they were, because they might.
Checking the entire place? Well, if they're checking the entire place, then we're gonna have that problem anyway.
True.
So,
We'll just teleport to them.
besides, Doronot says, shoot from the hip.
All right, so so you have done this before. You take a full round to concentrate. You zone in with your spyglass that you stole from Baron LaFleur, and you say, "All right, everyone, gather around," and everyone puts their arms around you, and you teleport everyone in. You guys are teleported on top of a rooftop overlooking the docks on the far eastern edge. You can kind of glance down to the west, and you can see a whole bunch of activity way down there. There's a bunch of guards. With torches like daylight. There's
make it so
a big, huge
Probably to
ship.
challenge me too, which I appreciate. That's
So he doesn't
nice.
have to roll anymore
Not to do this particular thing. He'd take a whole round.
Multiple people
If
within
if there was combat happening, sure. If you had to do it on like I gotta quickly yes. But he had a full round. He was looking. No one's
Right.
challenging him.
Well, I'm just saying that this is a new
Yep.
level, basically.
Oh yeah,
Since you've
yeah.
done it so
He's
much.
basically got it down at this point.
Oh
so,
yeah, I'm focused.
Yeah, so
on
there's
getting
just
us onto a ship. which
there's
I'll
just
freak
a
out on.
ton of activity going down there. There's a big, huge ship with the Queen's flags all over it, like the largest cargo ship in the Navy. I mean,
Oh, that one.
it's a
going
grand
trap.
show going on,
She
right?
changed the flag at all, by the way?
What was that?
Has she changed the
No,
flag?
no, it's
Okay.
still the same one. Even if it was, they wouldn't have had time.
Yeah.
To sew up the new ones, get them out to all the ships. Yeah. Yeah, but no, but it's a big to-do, right? Now, over where you guys are, there's a couple ships. I would like perception rolls from both of you.
17.
Okay.
26.
Okay, good. So you are basically counting people, right, and like going through the whole area. Your eye is drawn immediately to what is clearly one of Baron LaFleur's ships, and as you do, you see people rolling barrels up in and out of it, right? And after a minute of because she's like well, I'm counting 32 guards here, and there's people here, and you're just like
wear this many
you're just like,
gloves.
hang on, and you're looking, and you see someone you know very well walk down the plank and light a pipe and start smoking it, and it's absolutely what was his name? Randolph. So Randolph walked out of Baron LaFleur's ship. He lit a pipe and is kind of strolling down the dock, kind of towards the main board.
Off of Baron LaFleur's ship?
Off of Baron LaFleur's ship to the dock. Now he's walking down the dock towards the boardwalk that's right outside of you guys.
I just killed my principal now.
There is like a little shuffling of the couplets as they kind of like, but yep.
That's a weird pantomime you just did.
And they're still asleep. They're heavy, but they're still, asleep.
I told Randolph that if he did what I said, I would first of all.
And here's another gold.
I would give him a gold, right? And if he delivered the message, or if he told my guild.
You were to deliver the message to the guild.
I guess he delivered the message. I guess I could say that.
Maybe both.
You think he did both? Oh, maybe he did do both, and it was too late for them to be able to do anything anyway.
But he's obviously with Baron LaFleur now.
Yeah.
I think he just needs an arrow in the throat, basically.
I can do that.
No, you have a part. Don't worry.
But if you cause too much commotion, well, I'm not there.
No, that's right. No.
Did we start recording again?
Yeah.
We are recording.
Okay.
Yeah, we're recording. In my mind,
Yeah.
Randolph did what I asked him to do, kind of. Even if it did get my guild killed.
Right.
So I do technically owe him a gold in my character's mind.
Fair enough.
There was certainly a message delivered.
Yeah, message was delivered.
Yes, there was. When I see him in the spyglass, I audibly sigh aloud, and then I kind of recollapse it and put it back into what tatters are left of my coat. And
you do need to sew a new coat at some point.
Well, we're gonna figure out a new clothing scheme, I think.
All right.
And I turn to Rina and say, I need you to do me a favor. And I reach into my hidden money pouch.
Great.
And I take out another gold and I hand it to her. And I say, I point to Randolph. Oh, and actually offer my spyglass so she can see better or something.
Okay.
And I point to Randolph down there and I'm describing him to you. And can you give that gold piece to him and say that Dorro says thanks? And that's it. And then just leave.
I can definitely do that.
Okay.
Anything I can do.
All right.
Allow
So
this to happen.
take a gold piece from Dorro. You descend off the roof.
Secretively off
Yeah.
to a side and come out of an alleyway, not just jumping down.
Give me an acrobatics.
Roll acrobatics?
Yeah.
10.
10. Okay. Okay. So you're kind of like you're
The owlbears are throwing me off.
Right. Exactly. You're doing that. Well, I assumed you were going to leave the owlbears
Yeah,
here.
no, I'm gonna
Okay.
leave them next to Caitlin and be like,
Watch
Caitlin's
these.
very happy about this. Caitlin's
Yay.
basically just got one air,
Don't let them
one
claw
arm over
you.
both owlbears. She's like, no, it's fine,
Okay,
yay.
great,
And she's
cool.
kind of playing with their paws
Okay.
and, yeah. You kind of go around the back, and the roof's a little bit high, so you kind of do that thing where you're hanging by your fingers, and you're not quite sure what you got yourself into, and then you drop, and there's a small little crash, but you're all right.
Okay.
You're all right. Yeah.
Brushes it off. Cool.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that. Looks
Right,
around.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I can't tarnish the elf name.
Right. It wasn't the most graceful move. So you make it around to the edge.
Okay.
I would like what's the equivalent of now move south? High. Give me a high.
Stealth.
Thank you. God.
29.
That's better. Okay, so once you're comfortable and on your feet again, you vanish into the shadows, and you make your way kind of down the back alleys, and you're kind of waiting, completely hidden, as this like 13-year-old human boy with red hair is walking towards you, smoking a pipe, and just.
Why did I think he was? That was so weird. I pictured him with a cell phone, like texting someone, walking up, and then he looks up and is like,
Because that's what we all do. Yeah.
so weird.
He's got a piece of parchment and he's
Right.
He's scribbling down ideas.
Yeah.
All right, so what she's gonna do, just kind of pop out in front of him, but not like in a really like frightening kind of way. And she's just gonna tap him on the shoulder. So she taps on the shoulder and she says, "From Dorro to you," and then she's just gonna pass by, like keep walking, it's like it happens and it keeps going, and I go into the next alleyway. So like
Okay.
by the time he turns around,
Okay.
So you kind of flip him a gold as you walk by and you duck into an alley, and as you're about halfway down this alley, you hear this, "Hey!" And you turn around and you look towards the mouth of the alley, and there's the kid standing there. He's got a bow in his hands. "Tell Dorro I said thanks." And as he raises the bow, and as it passes over his face, it's like he just shifts in that second. And there's no longer a 13-year-old boy there. There's a man in a half mask pointing a bow at you. I need initiative. Godsfall is written, produced, and edited by myself, Aram Vartian. If you want up-to-the-minute information about the podcast, you can follow me on Twitter at GodsfallDC. Special thanks to our good friends at BattleBards for giving us access to their incredible catalog of richly produced sounds. Be sure to check them out at battlebards.com. And a special thanks to all of our loyal Patreon supporters. Without you, this show could not continue. If you'd like to support Godsfall, get access to exclusive Patreon supporter content, and get episodes of Season 3 before they're released publicly, head over to patreon.com/Godsfall. That's all from us this week. We have original maps, art, character sheets, and more on our website at godsfall.com, as well as links to our Patreon account and official Godsfall t-shirts. So see you next time in the world of the Five Kingdoms.
So where the fuck were we?
Who knows?
Michael, GM number 2, fill us in.
Yes, Michael, please. Give us a recap, Michael.
Well, Dorro with
Caitlin,
Rina
and Caitlin and Cyrena and Joshua Omar.
Joshua.
Jazz Omelet.
Oh, good. You even got Joshua. Very
Jazz
good.
Omelet.
And Jazz Omelet. All
Jizz omelet.
we're all fighting their way through some bullets, and all their horses got et.
Yeah.
And, but they did manage to grab the shield, which is what they were after. And we're supposed to then teleport to Torrvic, me, and Para,
Yes.
that
was the plan.
who are with the horses and heading towards Flat Rock, where we're going to figure out about this big fire. and hopefully save the village, and everybody'd love us and say, "Oh, here I'm a god, so let me join you guys." And we'd be like, "Okay, great." And then they would join us, and it'd be super easy and fun.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yay!
And then we opened a panini shop, and we made hundreds of thousands of
XP
platinum.
for everyone.
Yay!
Godsfall.
We had the best clientele ever.
But they didn't appear, so we were on our way to Flat Rock,
Right.
and they were
Because
like,
you were like, well, we got to at least get our mission done.
right.
Yeah.
And so we believe that. I mean, I have every belief in Dorro and Cyrena and
Right.
Rina that they can handle pretty much anything that comes their way. I'm going to assume that just they got held up or whatever, and we're going to figure out this stuff that's going on, and then we're going to go trace back and find where they were, 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 and